Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about dated items that could be in your closet. Now the reason I wanted to talk about this today is this is such a common topic that comes up when I'm styling my clients, whether it's virtually or in person. They want to know when I'm looking in their closet, what's dated, what do I need to toss, how can I repurpose and restyle things? So we start a lot of the time with dated things that we know just really aren't serving them. So I wanted to talk about this and share it with all of you today in case some of these things might be lurking in your closet. And I wanted to just say up front that this is not to make anyone feel bad if you have these items in your closet. The reason I share it is A, because it's good fun, and number two, if you are someone that's in the business world, it is good to stay on top of what's at least a little bit more modern, only because if your aesthetic or your look is outdated, a lot of people will assume that your skill set is also. So let's dive into some of my top things I think are a little bit outdated, and I'll give you some suggestions on how we can tweak it to make it a little bit more modern. Now, the first dated item in the closet is a peep toe shoe. Now, in my opinion, nothing ruins an outfit faster than a peep toe shoe, and I know this is probably going to shock some of you, but often I find that a lot of women don't get the right size, and just to see one or two toes kind of poking out the end of the shoe often looks incredibly painful. The big toe especially often to me looks like it's screaming, and this is just an outdated cut for footwear. So what I suggest instead for something like this, if you want something open toe, because it would be obviously a warmer season, something that's more of a traditional sandal is really elegant. It will go with everything in your closet, which is lovely, or to go for a slide. If you want something that's obviously more flat, slides are beautiful and they will give you more open toe coverage, so the whole front of the foot is exposed. To me, it's a little bit more modern. That looks a little bit chic rather than just having the peep of the one or two toes at the front. Even for me, when I wore them back in the day, they were so uncomfortable. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but I always felt like they were uncomfortable depending on how long you had to be on your feet. Again, for the blistering, screaming toe purpose that I mentioned before, but it's just sort of an outdated item, and this is something that I would gravitate towards, or a traditional closed toe pump is a classic. You can never go wrong with that. Bonus fit's got a little bit more of a pointed toe, will look a little bit better, so that would be my first item. Now, the next dated item in the closet are button-up cardigans, the ones that are really high, or the cardigans that have the large button up the top and they kind of went in almost like an A-line cut afterwards. These are cardigans that were very popular in the 90s, early 2000s. They even had a moment like after the 2010 a little bit. They were huge and are huge in office wear, but they are something that's a little dated. Oftentimes women weren't wearing them completely buttoned up, which is how that style is supposed to be worn. So they would leave the cardigan unbuttoned and it would sort of fall behind the breast, which just looked weird. All the fabric was sort of lumpy and bumpy, and it just looked like the clothing didn't fit well. So this is something I think really detracts from the figure of most unless you're going to wear it buttoned up. But overall, the silhouette right now just isn't really as current or fresh. There are other cardigan options that just look so much better. A lot of the styles right now tend to be more cropped. Now, this doesn't mean you need to expose your midriff, especially if you are in the office, but they have a really beautiful V-neck front to them, which is really flattering on every single body type. And there's usually just 2 or 3 buttons below that, like below the bust line, that just looks so complimentary. It looks a little bit more sophisticated. And depending on the type of fabric that you get the cardigan in is so lovely for the office. Now, obviously you'll want to make sure the V-neck isn't too low, but you could also layer some of these up with a blouse underneath, and that's going to keep the cardigan looking really beautiful and fresh even for the office time, or you can wear it solo when fall comes around. I know we don't want to think about that right now. But when that does come around, they are beautiful to wear on their own with a really beautiful high-rise skirt or pant of some kind. They are the elevated option, the newer, more modern cut and option for cardigans. So if you have the other button-up style or the large button, it might be time to consider tossing it. Now, the next dated item in the closet is actually an accessory, and these are the BAUBLE necklaces from back in the day. J. Crew was a big fan. I was a big fan of these necklaces back in the day. I had so many of like the J. Crew style necklaces where they were colorful and oversized, and there was lots of bling and color, and they were just wonderfully quirky and girly. I really, really love them. I have many videos where I was wearing these puppies. but they are more of a passé dated item at the moment. They're really something that doesn't serve the overall aesthetic and keeping your look very modern right now. So instead of that, often going for a heavier chain or metal or metallic of some kind is really in style right now, or a lot of the layered pieces that you can do with coin necklaces or just gold chains overall are going to look a lot more sleek and sophisticated, whether you want to wear them solo or paired with multiple layers to kind of create a statement, if you will, is a better way to tackle accessories at the moment. If you want a bit of edge, you can do them with some texture, which obviously looks really cool, adds an interesting finish to the accessory itself. But the oversized plastic J. Crew bubble bar kind of looking necklaces, like the bib necklaces, we all know that one. Little dated right now. So we can just upgrade if you want to hold on to them, because everything comes around again, do so. But we can just go for something a little bit more modern in the meantime and update your look as a result. Now, the next wardrobe item that is dated are jeans with contrasting stitching. So in particular, jeans that have the white stitching on the backside. They typically also came with a pocket that had a flap on it. These jeans have just seen their day. It was, you know, very 2000s, if you will, late 2000s. But it's just something that looks incredibly dated now. They are definitely casual on top of that. So this is something that you definitely don't want to wear to the office or a more elevated environment. So an updated version of this is a beautiful high-rise denim, my apologies, in a really beautiful dark wash depending on the season, but a dark wash is the dressed up version. It goes with everything. You can dress them up or down. They are great for casual Fridays at the office or when you want to kind of dress up a denim a little bit. But a really gorgeous, like high cut, low contrast stitching jean is really beautiful. If you pay attention to the pockets and you get one that's to scale with each bum cheek, if you will, it's going to look really flattering on your backside. Really, really flattering. So no flap ideally, unless you really feel like you got a bit of a flat bum, then sometimes a flap can be nice, but ideally for the most classic fit, for the one that's going to stand long-term in your closet, a beautiful high rise in a dark wash, and it's one that you can't see the stitching on. Oh, the way to go. Now, the next item that is dated in the wardrobe is the blogger boot, as I like to call it. These are ankle boots that we sort of saw around 2012, 2013. I definitely had these. These were a lower ankle boot with sort of a wooden block heel typically. That was around that era. It had a rounded toe and was usually in a finished leather, like a smooth leather. Sometimes you saw it in a suede, but these boots are definitely on the dated side of things. Now, ankle boots, of course, they come in different styles and they ebb and flow over the years depending on what's in style, but these in particular just look really, really dated when you wear them. So something that's obviously a little bit nicer, and I'm wondering if I have my examples here. So this is a much more updated version. This is more of a Chelsea boot style of ankle boot. The rise of the shaft of the boot is just slightly higher than what we saw back in the day. The toe of the boot is also pointed, so it's a little bit more elongating on the foot or on the leg overall. And the heel is still chunky, which is nice, but you haven't got that contrasting wood block heel. It's obviously camouflage with the color of the boot, obviously depending on what color you choose, whether brown, black, or otherwise. And it's just got a very sleek, sophisticated finish to it. So this is much more of a modern take on the ankle boot rather than the shorter shaft, the rounded toe, and again, the chunky wood block heel that was available back in the day. So again, this is just a very subtle switch for ankle boots that again will just look so sophisticated. You'll get great wear out of this, especially come fall when we're really transitioning back to ankle boots once more. But instant update to the closet, and again, you'll get a lot of years out of something like this, which is fabulous. It's gonna be really hard to date a good classic Chelsea boot, and yeah, you'll get tons of mileage out of it. Now, the next item to discuss, I know a lot of you are gonna freak out and disagree with me about. I'm ready for it, it's okay. And that is the French manicure. And I know, myself included, I love a good French manicure, but they've had a bit of a tweak to them. They're not quite as modern as they used to be, especially if you're getting the French manicure in a thick white band at the top with square nails or rectangular nails on top of it. That style is just not seen as overly fresh and modern, if you will. But it doesn't mean that the French manicure has completely disappeared, because Elle Woods, let's be honest, would probably freak out about that. But there is an updated way that you can do the French manicure just to keep it very modern, still have that nice, gorgeous, elegant, classic feel, but just by tweaking it a little bit. So the updated version is to have the nail slightly more pointed or a little bit more oval rather than square, which was very popular back in the day. And instead of doing the thick white band at the top of the nail, the more sophisticated, more modern approach is to have more of a fade happen with the manicure now, for the white tip, if you will. So have it sort of fade into that nude color, or to have a very, very thin band for the white tip on the manicure. That is a more modern approach to this manicure. It looks super fresh. It's a very easy tweak and will ensure that even your manicure is on point. Another dated option in the closet is a long denim skirt. Long denim skirts, in particular the A-line stiff fabric denim skirts, are incredibly dated. In fact, I'm gonna go way out there and say I have yet to see one that looks good on anyone at any point. They circle around every now and then. Sometimes they hit the runways too. And I'm gonna be the one that put myself out there and say I've yet to be impressed by one that actually looks good. And obviously that is personal preference, but to me, these just look incredibly dated. Going for something that's a little bit more fitted in a softer fabric, and it can be different lengths, maybe midi style or shorter, or even like a pencil skirt, denim skirt. Those are a little bit more classic and I feel come around a little bit more readily, but the very long, stiff A-line skirt, denim skirt, to me is just been there, done that. Please, let's move on. I have yet, like I said, to see something that looks good. So I don't really have an alternative update for that one because, as I mentioned, I haven't seen it look good to begin with. And of course, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think's dated in the closet? What are you loving? What are you shying away from? What do you think needs to go? Share in the comments down below. Again, it's all out of love, and just know that if it's something that you really resonate with, then obviously you have the opportunity to continue wearing it if it's a part of your personal style, because that is what style is all about, embracing what you know that you love. So I hope you had some fun with this video. Again, share with me in the comments below. What are you loving? What are you hating? What do you think needs to go, or you can't wait to leave the closets of many? Share down below in the comments. And of course, if you want to modernize your style and you want a stylist help, please join me in Rise Through Style, where we do monthly style trainings, Q&A, shop your closet sessions, and more. We got guest experts, the whole 9 yards, and exclusive programs to help you elevate your style in a way that feels really good to you and authentic. Because again, that is what style is all about. So I will leave the information for that down below. And other than that, I'm sending you all the love to the moon and back, and I will catch you again in the next video. Bye.